very unusual. It only happens 2 or 3 times. It's 4 possibilities, but it can only happen 2 or 3 times a year. Sometimes even only once a year. Since Asura, we're going to take out 3 sets of Torahs. Finish the Torah, we start the Torah, and there's a mafia. So when you have 3 Sefer Torahs, by the way, it says whenever the Sefer Torah is taken out, you can ask for any request you want. It's a very auspicious time for all your prayers and needs to be fulfilled. Remember that.
You said whenever a Torah is being taken out?
Whenever we have 3 Sefer Torahs, three. What are the 3 about? The first one's the Parsha of the week, Truma. And instead of having 7 men called up, we have only 6 men called up. The 7th Aliyah is the 2nd Sefer Torah, which is the rosh chodesh. The 3rd is the shkalim, about the half shekels that the Jews donated for the sake of bringing korbanos. Every year, before Nisan, they collected, it was a fund, collecting half shekels to purchase all the korbanos that were needed, sacrifices that were needed for the entire year. So that's another 3rd Sefer Torah. A trio, whenever you have 3, it's foundational. The Jewish people are founded upon Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. They are the foundation's forefathers, and they also include converts too. Every single Jew is connected to the 3 patriarchs of us. We have the whole world stands on 3: Torah, Avodah, Gemilas Chasadim. There are 3 things that can vanquish or eliminate a horrible negative decree. We say that davening on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Tshuva, Tefillah, and Tzedakah. Ma'avirin es raya ha'gezeira. With Tshuva and with Tefillah and with Tzedakah, we can relinquish any evil decree. Well, again, 3. We have 3 signs of a Jew. Rachmanim, they are compassionate, merciful. They are shy, with a certain shyness. And number 3, benevolent, gracious. Well, again, 3 things, 3 signs of a Jew. What's the nature of a Jew? Describing the nature of a Jew. You also have many other 3s go on the list. So the list goes on and on and on. And we see that we have 3 Bati Mikdash, 3 based on Mikdash, 1st, 2nd, and the 3rd one will be the final one. And again, as I said, the list goes on. There's so many 3s that Judaism is composed of. And when you have 3 Sefer Torahs read in one Shabbos, it's very, very special. Because it's Rosh Chodesh Adar. Adar is like a month of joy. When Adar enters, we should increase in joy. Not only on Purim, but even before Purim. However, on Purim, we're supposed to get intoxicated, inebriated. Now, I mentioned something about women versus men, but the men are supposed to get intoxicated literally with wine. And there's a Gemara about this. And the Gemara is Masechet Megillah, which here it is. This is the first page, the original. And it's on Daf Zayin Amud Beis 7b. That's what I like to do with it. Standing room only in this class. The first page is the actual. You'll notice here's a Mishnah. It says Masni, and then in 10 lines above, around over here, in the actual first page. But we'll go to the second page. Second page, there's a check. On the right side, on top, there's a check. You'll see a check there, Amar Rabbah. And it talks about the importance of getting. Oh, wow. Look, Gadol. I didn't think you were here. You're here? I thought you were not here.
No, I was in Miami.
You were in Miami.
Yeah,
There's another Israeli girl came. She was alumni. She came here,
okay.
but you didn't meet her. What's her name? Eliora? What's her name?
Livon. Livon?
Well, maybe?
Yeah.
You know who she is?
Ken.
Oh, yeah.
Ken. She was in my room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my roommate.
Your roommates, okay, here's בבקשה.
תודה.
אמרתי שבשבת זו קוראים בשלושה ספרי תורה. Three ספרי תורה זה Shabbos. Not one, not two, three. Very unusual. זה לא רגיל בכלל. Simchas Torah, we do it. So it's like a Shabbos which resembles דומה לשמחת תורה. ואומרים שכשמוצאים את התורה מהארון, יכולים לבקש כל מה שאת רוצה. בזמן מסוגל...
בבוקר?
בבוקר, כן. Now, in the morning, when they take out the Sefer Torah from the Aron to read, it's three Sefer Torahs. One for the Parshat Truma, one for Rosh Chodesh, and one for Shkalim. So, אמרתי שזה זמן הכי מסוגל להרבה ימים טובים. Okay. So here's Amar Rava. On the first page, well, over here exactly, over here on the right side, on top of the notes, Amar Rava. Rava, of course, a very well-known Talmudic sage who appears almost in every single page of the Talmud. His name was Rava. Amar Rava. Rava says, Mechayiv inish livsumi bapuria. One is obligated. Mechayiv means like chayav. You're obligated. Inish. Ben Adam. Ish. Livsumi. To become intoxicated. Liishtaker. B'yayin. We'll talk about that in a second. Women can get intoxicated without wine. We'll talk about that in Gemara. Bipuria. Ma ze puria? Purim. Ba'aramit omnim puria. How drunk should you get? How intoxicated? Famous. Ad lo yada, until one does not know Bein Order Haman the Baruch Mordechai. The difference between the cursed Haman and the blessed Mordechai. You should get so drunk that you should not know who's Haman, who's Mordechai. Does that make any sense? No. Why doesn't it make any sense? Not because wine is dangerous. That's not the reason. Because why would you want a person on Purim to forget who Haman and Mordechai are? The whole purpose of Purim is to remember who Mordechai and Haman are, to know the whole story. Shkoach, mihu Haman, mihu Mordechai. What's the answer? Answer to the question is like this. I don't know if people are listening when I'm writing down. What are you writing?
I'm writing the question you asked.
Oh, okay. Sometimes it has nothing to do. Not now. Girl was writing, I thought she was writing notes. She was writing a letter to her parents, I think. It reminds me of a story from 9/11. You know, when I was giving a shir when 9/11 happened.
Wow.
I was giving him a shir. I have a guy who always sleeps in my class. You know, boys like to sleep a lot. The guy never listened to a word, and all of a sudden he has something in his ears, and he's like, "Oh!" I said, "What did I just say? You get so excited? Did you hear what happened? Twin Towers." I know it couldn't have been me. Twin Towers.
Oh God. And
that's when it happened, actually. Middle of the class in the morning. I consider share, and this is in Seagate. Class.
What did dreams is?
It's nothing to do with 9/11. What?
No, he had like you're saying earphones?
He had an earphone. Yeah, he was listening to the radio. He was listening to the news. Or what I said is so exciting to you? No, Rabbi, I wasn't even listening. Does he hear the news? I realized, okay, he hasn't changed. Okay, so what does it mean to not know the difference? The answer is like this. There's two answers I'll give you. My brother has a sefer where he gave 70 answers. Because wine is making master 70. Sod, like a sod, secrets. Samach, that's shishim, 60. Vov is 6. Samach, Vov, Dalad. Samach, that's shishim. Vov, that's 6. The Dalad, that's arba. 60 plus 6 plus 4 is 70. When you drink wine, all the secrets come out. Wine brings out a sodot. Sometimes it's a good sodot, sometimes not so good. You can tell a person who that person is when that person is intoxicated. Shikar. So here's what's going on. We're telling the person not to forget who Haman is and what it is. The difference between Haman and Mordechai should not be based on das. You shouldn't have to be only awake using your head, using your logic, and then you believe Haman is cursed and Mordechai is blessed. Not only yada, adar yada, that your level of connection to Mordechai should be higher than logic. Lo yada, that your feelings of Mordechai and Haman should not be based on das. Adar yada be. Hachiluk ben Haman and Mordechai is a lo mugbal mashatam evin b'dat shalcha. The difference between Haman and Mordechai is not based on how logic dictates the difference, because logic is limited. Seichel is mugbal. Hachiluk habein masha beinayim is a believable. Lo yada. Go to the level of lo yada. But even when you're asleep, and it's so obvious you don't have to even be awake. That deep of a difference. That's what it means. Or another shot. This I heard is a very interesting one. Let's read the words. Ad de lo yada bain. What's bain mean? The word bain? In between. Bain can mean a sun, but bain can also mean Bay's nun without a yud is a sun. Bay's yud nun is in between. Ad de lo yada bain. So you do not know any in between. There's no in between Mordechai or Haman. Imata noteh mashu mi Mordechai. If you deviate one iota from Mordechai, you are in Haman's domain. There's no in between. Really? Doesn't make any sense. If I use my logic, can I say that if you drop less, you deviate a drop from Mordechai, you already are a Haman? That doesn't make any sense.
Does it go the other way?
No, it goes only one way. Good question, but only goes one way. So does logic make sense out of the fact that if you deviate, matan noteh mitzad hayosher, mitzad hayemin, משהו זה כבר נתן נמצא ברשות של Haman. You find yourself in Haman's domain because you left a drop of, you deviated one drop of Mordecai. But if you're low yada, it does make sense. When you go and you get intoxicated and you reach a level where you're so connected to Mordecai and what Mordecai stands for, that one iota, one drop of deviation, it's already Haman. There's no in between. Adolo yada bain, adolo yada sheyesh ben, sheyesh masha beinayim. O kacha, o kacha. Two extremes. That's what it means. Now we go to the next story here. You ever hear the story with Rabbah and Rabbi Zeira having a Sudas Purim, and Rabbah kills Rabbi Zeira? He slaughters Rabbi Zeira in the middle of a meal. Never heard of that?
No.
Okay, good. Phenomenal. Oh, yeah, I can do it. Let's go right there. The bottom of, no, right here, same page. The Gemara cites and relates an incident. Rabbah and Rabbi Zeira Avdu Sudas Purim Bahadi Adodi. Rabbah and Rabbi Zeira had a Purim feast together. Rabbah and Rabbi Zeira, two Amarayim. Again, Avdu Asu Sudas Purim Bahadi Adodi Biyachat. Ivsum. They both became shikr. They became intoxicated. Ivsum, like the Besamim, but here it means they were intoxicated. They became inebriated. They were drunk, intoxicated. Next page. Come Rabbah. Rabbah arose. Rabbah gets up from his chair. You have the pages. And Shachte Rabbi Zeira. Shachte. What does shachte mean? He slaughtered Rabbi Zeira in the middle of a meal. He got so drunk that he actually slaughtered Rabbi Zeira, killed him. Story? You heard the story before? Wow. I thought the story was well known. L'mocher, the next day, not on Purim. On Purim, he let him. He didn't bother trying to daven for him at all. The following day, he has to resurrect him, right? He has to have Chiyas HaMesim. What did he do? Boy, Rachame, Rabbah prayed for mercy on behalf of Rabbi Zeira and revived him and resurrected him. He had Chiyas HaMesim. The story in Gemara. It's a real story. Not like some people might think it's a metaphor. It doesn't really happen. There are some Gemaras that are only metaphoric. This is not one of them. It's in conjunction with we just learned the halacha, you're obligated to get shikr. So here's a story where they did get intoxicated. They both got intoxicated. Rabbah lost himself, seemingly, and he slaughtered Rabbi Zeira, killed him. And then he revived him the next day. If you think this is funny, let's go weiter. If you think this is a little strange, let's see the next part of the Gemara. And I'll soon tell you all the questions the Rebbe asked, the whole speech on this Gemara. So what would you think if you were a rabbi and you killed somebody? How would you feel? You would probably want to do tshuva and probably would be fasting for the rest of your life. Rabbi didn't do any tshuva at all. In fact, next year, fast forward, next year, what did Rabbi say? Would you like to have a Seudas Purim again? What do you think Rabbi Zeira would answer? Are you kidding? Excuse-moi. OMG. Are you normal? What did Rabbi Zeira answer? Oh, I would love to. But I don't know, if you'll be able to bring me back from the next world. Not every time miracles happen and you can bring a soul back to earth. So I would love to do it. I mean, I had so much fun last year when you killed me. It was wonderful, but I don't know if I'll make it back. Does that sound normal? Rabbi Zeira should have said, are you out of your mind? And he didn't say that. He said, I would love to. So Rabbah, why is Rabbah thinking, why would Rabbah initiate the conversation by saying, let's do it again? And Rabbi Zeira says, you're right, I would love to do it again. Let's see it inside now. The Shana, the following year, Armaleh, so Rabbah says to Rabbi Zeira, Neisei Mar, let master come, master meaning Mr. So-and-so, or Rabbi so-and-so. Let's come have a Purim for us together. Remember what happened last year? Let's do it again. Armaleh, Rabbi Zeira answered him, yeah, but not every time does a miracle occur. It was a miracle you got my soul back from heaven down to earth again. When the soul leaves the body, it doesn't want to come down again. Especially if you're a tzaddik and you go to Gan Eden. Who wants to go back down to this miserable world? So you were lucky last year, but I don't know if you'd be lucky this year. So the Rebbe asks all these questions. How could a tzaddik, in the middle of doing a mitzvah, of getting drunk, kill somebody? Some commentaries say he didn't kill him because he injured him and he fainted and it looked like he died. But even so, to injure a person is also a sin. But the Rebbe says, no, he actually killed him. Who met?
Yeah. All the souls don't want to come back in
Most souls. Why?
because
You're thinking of it coming in?
what? No,
Why
like
it?
the ממש מעניין, like
It depends, but a soul of a tzaddik for sure sees Gan Eden miyad.
and soul.
ואין בהתענוג זה תענוג נפלא שאי אפשר לתאר.
Yeah,
אין
But-
מילים.
but not like someone regular.
I don't know. I can't tell you. There are stories where, no, I know stories where a person, back to what's her name? It's a student here. Yeah. Her brother. I spoke to him. Had, what's her name? Hannah Ruman.
Oh.
Afshala. The whole story, how he,
Were you
mommy.
there last year when you came to speak to us?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he actually gave wow, he's a phenomenal, unbelievable guy. It's a very funny laugh, but he's a very, very special person. And you can see that what he was saying was not some hallucination, it was real. So his neshama, I don't know. I don't know if it wanted to, I don't know if he wanted to leave. I think he wanted to come back. Whatever, but Rabbi Zeira did not want to come back. And Rabbah had to, and a neshama cannot come back against its will. It's impossible to give chayis if it doesn't want. The neshama has to want. So you have to convince it to want. So Rabbah was praying that Hashem should help, that the neshama should want to come back down. Boy, Yerachami. Rachmanas. Yes, baby.
Like, if he killed him on purpose, would
We're gonna soon talk about it. And even if he didn't kill him on purpose. Probably not. But accidents, was tzaddik accidentally killing someone? Could a tzaddik accidentally mess up and kill somebody while doing a mitzvah on Purim? Makes no sense. Rabbah was the greatest tzaddik of the generation. He was the, Tanya, we just learned about Rabbah from the beginning. He was the leader of the generation. And then the question, of course, why is he asking next year to do it again instead of doing tshuva? He has no remorse about what he did last year. In fact, he's very proud of it.
The next year, his active giving tshuva, like. trying to
Wasn't
do
acting,
it.
he didn't, doesn't mention a word about him doing tshuva. In fact, it says that he was so proud of what he did last year, he wanted to do it again. Doesn't make any sense. And Rabbi Zeira also was in with him. They were all together on this. Another question. Come, Rabbah. Look at the word. Come. He arose. What do I care if he arose from his chair or he killed him while he was sitting down? Makes a difference. Why is it important to tell me, come, Rabbah? Rabbah stood up. Come. Every word in the Gemara is meduyak. You understand what I'm saying? Why does it have to say that he got up, he arose? And if it would have killed him or anything like that, is there any difference? And why use the shachate? What's the normal way of killing? What's the normal word for killing? In Hebrew, harag. In Aramaic, katel. Katuv po shachate. Shchita. You don't slaughter a person, you slaughter an animal. Why does it say b'shachate? Shchita is something you use on a behemoth, not on a person. When you kill a person, it doesn't say you slaughtered a person, you killed a person, you murdered a person. Harag in Hebrew, katel in Aramaic. But why shchita?
Did he kill his animal soul?
Don't try to guess. You're not going to guess. So that's interesting what you think. Kill his animal soul. I hear you. His animal soul was already pretty refined. He's not tzaddikim, he's not average people. So he has nothing to work on. But I hear what you're saying. But here's the Rebbe's. But I was at Farbrengen when the Rebbe asked these questions. I was at that Farbrengen, and the Rebbe was almost like entertaining the crowd with so many questions that even the women in the Rabbah show were smiling and laughing. You heard it was laughable. The Rebbe made the question so strong that it was perfect, like entertaining. And the Rebbe said, "I don't know if the answers are as good as the questions. I got to be careful. I don't want it to be publicized. Later on, it was publicized." Here's the answer. Rabbah, yes, he did cause Reb Zeira's death, but not through a knife. He didn't slaughter him with a knife. What does the word shechita actually mean? We translate slaughter, but it actually has a different meaning. When you slaughter an animal, the knife that's used has to be smooth. You draw the knife. You don't poke. You can't poke the knife into the animal's neck, but rather where the animal suffers almost, it's so quick. The death of the animal is so quick, the animal hardly feels any pain. But it does feel some pain. Sar balachayim. But because the animal, after the shechita, becomes kosher, and a human being, a Jew, can eat it, and if a Jew eats l'shem shamayim, it gets elevated, becomes part of what you eat, becomes part of who you are. So the animal is elevated to the human being, and the human being is elevated to even higher when you eat l'shem shamayim. So because you are drawing the animal out of its level of being just a behemoth, through shechita, you're drawing the life of the animal to a higher level of energy, to a higher life, to a life of a human being. And when you eat l'shem shamayim, the animal becomes a spiritual being. It gets elevated. And that is why we are allowed to cause minimal pain to the animal. It's only minimal pain because it's done. The knife has to be extremely sharp, but the animal does not suffer too much. But the minimal suffering is also a problem. But because of the gain the animal has through this shechita, it's allowed. Here's what Rabbah did to Reb Zeira. He didn't slaughter him with a knife. He drew his soul out of his body. Because when these rabbis drank their inside, their sodot, they were talking chassidut. They were talking sodot HaTorah. They were talking the secrets. And Rabbah was pouring it on. Rabbah was pouring it on as much as he possibly could. He was drunk. Rabbah, without being drunk, had a lot on the head to give over. When Rabbah got shikar, he gave such heavy ideas that were so incredibly deep to Rabbi Zeira. Rabbi Zeira expired. His soul was drawn out of his body. Shechita means he mashach et haneshama shelo l'mayla, and he fainted. Why does it say come, Rabbah? Rabbah on Purim arose, not physically from a chair, come b'darga gavoa, to to a higher level than Rabbah was a whole year around. Rabbah had an aliyah. Rabbah, in his knowledge, went to the highest level he can go. And he started giving all that to Rabbi Zeira. So the Rebbe says the names of these sages tell you who they were. Rabbah, Rav. Yesh lo kelim. He has the capacity to contain without losing himself, without expiring. Zeira means tiny. He had tiny kelim. He gets emotional very quickly. And when something is too much for him to take, the soul leaves the body. So Rabbah did not know that, did not realize that Rabbi Zeira is so small in his kelim. And when he said what he said, Rabbi Zeira lost his life. And now Rabbi Zeira is lo yada. When you're in the neshama without a body, you for sure make kind of mitzvah of lo yada. So on Purim, Rabbah did not bother to resurrect Rabbi Zeira. He felt, I have the power tomorrow, the next day after Purim, when the avoda goes back to normal again, back to using your head, I will ask Rahmanis and I will bring him back down again. No wonder why he did not do tshuva, because he didn't feel he did anything wrong. On the contrary, he brought Rabbi Zeira to Shemayim. He gave Rabbi Zeira the greatest Purim he ever had. And Rabbi Zeira fulfilled the mitzvah of lo yada because he was not in a body anymore. He was in Shemayim. His soul went up. So he was really lo yada. Now it's after Purim, the next day. Now you have to go back down to earth again. I can't let his soul leave his body. That's not what we're here for. We're here to bring godliness down on earth. So therefore he prayed hard and he brought him down again. But Rabbi Zeira said the next year when Rabbah said to Rabbi Zeira, want to do it again? Rabbi Zeira got very excited. Oh, love it. It was an unbelievable experience. When I was in Shemayim, I can't tell you the words, what I felt. No, you want to do it again? I would love to. But I don't know if you're going to be able to bring me back down. I had such pleasure last year. It was a miracle that you were able to draw my soul back down to the body. I don't think it's going to happen again this year. Rabbah probably felt that throughout a whole year, Rabbi Zeira grew. Maybe you matured in your ability to contain. So Rabbi Zeira said, I didn't. I'm still afraid. You're powerful. And you also probably grew over the years. So I'm not going to be able to take it. And therefore, I advise you not this year. Try someone else, not me. I can't take you give too much. So it was actual wine, but the wine, when tzaddikim drink wine, the sodas come out. What kind of soda? Sodas HaTorah. Not the sodas of your bad character. Some people, when you drink, they get wild and they lose it completely. And they lose control of themselves. That is not simcha, by the way. You know, when you see people drunk, running in the streets, making a fool out of themselves, that is not simcha. That's called hodolot. Leitzanot. It's the opposite of simcha. Why is it the opposite of simcha? What is simcha? Simcha means to control. Simcha means to break through your boundaries, to have such control over yourself that you can transcend yourself. What is this going on? Losing control. Letting your emotions control you. That's the opposite of simcha. Is when you control your emotions, you transcend yourself.
But when you're drunk, you're not in control, no?
Depends. Sometimes drunk brings you to the level where you have such control that you could be, for example, when you are, let's say, a very introverted, nerdy person, and you can't talk one word. You're afraid of talking. All of a sudden you drink. Shalom Aleichem, how are you? And you give a hug, even to a person you don't really like. It breaks out of your boundaries. Ani lo mugbal. I drank, I'm Abbas Yisrael. I love my fellow Jew or Jewess. I give him a hug, give her a hug. Can't stand that person the whole year around. But on Purim, all your limitations, everything is forgotten. You transcend yourself. That's the power of Purim. That's simcha. Simcha poretz geder, breaks through all boundaries. That's not the boundaries break you. You break the boundaries. Big difference. And you see a lot of the opposite on Purim, unfortunately, over here. See a lot of good and a lot of not good. Don't learn from the not good. Now, what about women? Women should learn a lot of chassidus. And chassidus and women have a good shidduch. And that's the wine. Of course, Balik, they graped it. But wine is not something that's tanua for women, so it's not appropriate. But one should take, take Purim seriously by learning all the Hasidus, like all the Maimorim, whatever you have learned, accumulated throughout all these weeks before Purim. Like Mrs. Cohen just asked me if I know anyone going to Buffalo, but she wants my brother's book on Purim. He handed it out to the girls. And my brother said, I don't know if I have enough, and if I do, I'm not sure I'm not good in sending things. It's not I just write the books. So I have a great nephew, my brother's grandson, who might be coming back and forth, and he might bring some books back. But his books on Purim are phenomenal, and you get such a heritage. Of course, you have to learn Chassidus. It's not from my brother's book either, but you have to learn. Maimorim, and that's how you get transcend. You can control your midot, control and become a better person. That's what Purim is all about. It's not about the simcha, joy. I told you about this. I heard this from Rabbi Y. Jacobson. He says that a woman came to his shir, and she started saying, "I hate Purim. Why? It makes me so sad. Purim makes me so. I just can't tolerate it. Sad. I mean, I understand. You might have a little pressure because you have to prepare all the shalach and you worry about might have forget to give this person, that person. No, it's nothing to do with that. I'm just sad. What are you sad for? Purim sad. I'm sad for Esther. Esther Malka is the only Jew who can't celebrate. She's stuck with that tyrant, with Achashverosh. Everyone's dancing in the streets. She's never left alone with him, having to suffer being his wife. Being the wife of Eichmann. Tyrant. The zchut. Everyone's dancing in the streets, Mordechai, and everyone's dancing, and she can't go back to Mordechai. She lost Mordechai now forever. She was married to Mordechai, but once she consorted, she no longer had Mordechai. She's crying. If she's crying, I'm crying. Rabbi Jacobson said, wow. Well, let me give you the answer. Esther was not crying. Esther was such a state of joy that she saved the life of all. She saved Klal Yisrael. Could you imagine if you one person you saved? Just imagine if you would be told you'd have to live with a real Nazi. Well, you won't get killed. You'll live with a Nazi for a couple of years, but you should be the one. You should know that you'll be the one to save 6 million Jews from the Holocaust. Would you do it?
Yeah.
And if you did it, how would you feel if you succeeded?
Right.
No greater joy in the world. Esther Hamalka was sad. Wasn't caring about herself or personal. She was caring about she saved Klal Yisrael. That was her simcha, beyond all the other people's simcha. That's called Simchas Purim. My personal life. I don't like my husband. You just saved Klal Yisrael. That's Simchas Purim. That's called Simchas Purim. This is like Gemara. This is the famous Gemara. Now we go a little further. Have a few more of them. The rest of it is not. When do you have to fulfill the mitzvah of eating of Sudas Purim? Not at night, not the night before, not the night of Purim, the day, only during the day. But it says Yemei Simcha, Yemei Mishteh Simcha, Lo Leo. But this was not known to a certain Talmudic sage. Let's see the next piece. Rav Ashi Hava Yosef Kamed Rav Kahana. Rav Ashi was sitting before Rav Kahana on Purim. Naga, he was giving a shir, and he was very, very disappointed. He only had three men that came to his shir. Only 3. Right? And he was where are all the rabbis? Naga, he waited and waited and waited. Give me a shir on Purim. And he was waiting. Where is everyone else? How come no one's here? Well, he also Rabbanim. And the rabbis didn't come to a shir. The rabbis love to learn. So what happened? Maybe they overslept or what's going on over here? Our Malays, so Rav Ashi asked Rav Kahana, my time is also Rabbana. Why have the rabbis not arrived yet? So Rav Kahana answered, maybe they're busy with the Sudas Purim. Dilma, Tridi, Sudas Purim. That's why they're not here. Our Malay, they couldn't have eaten last night. Couldn't they made the Sudas Purim the night before? Well, they have an extra lemechle b'urta. Is it not possible for them to eat the Purim Suda at night? Amalei, Rav Kala answers back, what? Did you not hear? Lo shemile lemar ha the Omar Rabbah? Did Master, Rabbi, meaning Master, not hear what Rabbah said? What did Rabbah say? Su'udas Purim sha'achla balayla. If you make the Su'udas Purim at night, the night of Purim, you have not fulfilled your obligation. Lo yotzal yedei chavato. Has not fulfilled his obligation. It has to be done during the day. Amalei, Rav Ashi asked him, really? Did Rabbah say that? Rabbah said this? Amalei, yeah, he said it. Tanamine arboyin zimnin, arboyin zimnin. V'damalei keman demanach b'kisei. Rav Ashi learned this ruling from Rav Kahana 40 times. He went over this rule 40 times to thicken his memory that Rabbah said I should never forget. I should never forget this rule that Rabbah said that you cannot fulfill the Sudas Purim at night. Has to be done during the day. Because at night, maybe the reason is at night we're already lo yada, at night you're tired. Then it doesn't mean that the wine is not doing it. Then it's not Purim is doing it. We want you to be lo yada in the middle of the daytime, not at night. Tonight it's easy to be lo yada because you're tired. We want you to be lo yada during the day. This is the end of this particular. We have a piece until the mission of it. That's all we learned for today. That's all. There's money for next further is a whole new thing, new subject. But this is Masechta Megillah, track of Megillah, 7b. Daf Zayin Amid Beis. Look it up. 7, the famous Gemara. Well known. Yadua Lakol. The Yadua Lakol. Mishu Lomed, Rabbah, Zeira, Kol Sipura. Kulam Yodim et Sipura. There was a story with this fellow who used to have Lo Yada the whole month of Adar. He was Lo Yada, intoxicated the whole month. So they said to him, Rabbi, Purim, I understand. Kol chodesh. Lama. I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you. Why did Haman pick one day to kill all the Jews? It's very hard to kill all the Jews in one day. If you don't succeed, it's over, right? Give yourself a month. Much easier to have annihilation of the Jewish people in a whole month. That's much easier, much more chance for success. Why would you want to do it in one day? What's the answer? Haman wasn't stupid. Why did he say it only has to be done in one day? Because he was afraid. What happens if I lose? The Jews will celebrate. It's bad enough. They'll celebrate for one day. If I make a whole month of annihilation and I fail, they'll celebrate a whole month. It's bad enough if the Jews celebrate just one day. I don't want them to celebrate a whole month. So the Jew says, I should give in to Haman's wishes. Haman does not want to celebrate a whole month, does not want us to celebrate a whole month. I should give in to him. He doesn't want us to celebrate, we'll celebrate. We have Haman today also. We have the Hamasniks. This is the Haman Shabbilareno. These are the Haman, a lot of them. There's evil. And I would say, I would venture to say that they're more evil than Haman. Could you imagine that? Haman was pretty high on the rank. In fact, maybe even more than Hitler, Yamam Shemai, which is hard to imagine. Because the Nazis, as evil as they were, I don't know about Hitler, but the Nazis were as evil as they were not comfortable with people knowing what they did. They try to hide there. They hide there. They try to hide it. Not only that, even the ones that did it, many of them had to get drunk and lose themselves to be able to. It was difficult for them to do it. They couldn't kill so easily. It was hard for them. These, huh? Yeah. Take a pill or something. So that shows that their evil is less than the Hamas Yemach Shimon. Well, something they're bragging about it, calling up their parents. How I just killed 10 Jews. Mommy, I killed 10 Jews. Give me Yashakayach. This is the core of evil that before Mashiach comes, the core of evil, you can't get more evil than this. And when the core of evil is surfacing, that's the time right before Mashiach comes, when the world will see the difference between. There's a lot of klipa, a lot of garbage, and we're about to see the complete separation of good and evil. It becomes very clear. One of the signs of Mashiach is when things become clear. שרואים בעיניים הגשמיים שלנו, מה זה אמת. By this Purim, we should have not only all the hostages free, but all of us should be free from Golos, and we should dance at Mashiach. Based on Mikdash HaShlishi, it should be the court of Mamish, take it from me out Mamish, the Rebbe leading us out of this Golos. Gonna happen. Things, the world is going crazy right now, and when things are going crazy, it's happening. Happening very, very quick. Things are changing, Mamish, very, very quick. I've been around longer than you. I'm not a youngster. I've never had I don't remember a time like this.
Your word for it.
What?
We'll take your word for it.
That I'm older than you?
Now that things are different.
Yeah, they're quite different. But they were crazy time, listen, but the last few years especially.
But-
And,
Sometimes the world, like, אנשים, not everyone like believe to us. Sometimes believe to Hamas.
that's not normal.
We need to understand the world what happened, or לא אכפת לנו, or we don't care about it.
No, we do care. We just never care. Which world? The Goyish world, the non-Jewish
כן.
world?
זה לא משנה.
There are Yidden that are like that. There are Jews that are like that. A Jewish family told about the Bibas. Never. But don't forget the 10,000 Gazans, the Gazans who were killed. Medamim, Masha Asu,
כן.
people. Israel's not allowed to win a war. They're only allowed to be victims. They're not allowed to win a war. The Jews are only allowed to be victims. As soon as they start fighting a war, okay, proportion has to be proportionate. Proportionate. It's a big word, proportionate. You're fighting a war. Make proportionate.
Okay, so we don't care about this? What do you think about us?
It's going to help the care. I don't know if it's going to help.
No.
Not going to help anyways. But we want that Yidden, at least the Jews should not be so foolish.
The Jews?
Yeah, I know a lot of the liberal Jews that can't get the Golos out of their system.
Yeah.
You can take them out of Golos, but you can't take the Golos out of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shabbos.
Shabbos. Thanks for coming. Nobody here. No, I say thanks for you, and you and you. Otherwise, I have nobody.
Hashem, thank
3
you.
minus 3 is 0, right?
Thank you.